Laura worked for her father, who owns a hamburger stand in town. He's extremely famous for selling the best grilled hamburgers at a reasonable price. Me and my father just moved in from Dallas. My father loved the old essence and culture of the town, so he bought some land and we decided to settle there. The town accommodates a feeble population of about 80,000. Being here gave me the feeling of an old town on the countryside, till I met my dream girl, who is presently the reason of my trillions of nightmares, leaving goosebumps all over my body. I was in my college days, my early teenage years. As I remember a year or two ago, I visited her hamburger stand with my favorite peeps. There, my pupil got a catch of Laura's blue eyes. She was a tall lady with a standard height of 5 feet 4 inches. She was looking deadly gorgeous in her red one-piece and black boots with long, curly blonde hair and her blue eyes covered under large, shiny lashes. I craved to talk to her, but her father seemed quite restricted, so I controlled myself somehow. Out of my surprise, I found her on my Instagram feed. She was the girl from my old school who had gone unnoticed since years of her shy gestures. "Hello," I pinged her and waited for her reply eagerly. Fortunately, she texted back after an hour. Her message was like an energy dose for me, which boosted up my soul, and I jumped out of my curiosity to know more about her. After having some quality conversation, I decided not to delay and stretch it further, so I asked her to meet. "Can we meet up at your hamburger stand tomorrow? I love its taste." I tried to approach her as a friend, not to make her feel like I was a creep. "Probably, yes." Bundles of fireflies revolved around my head, its light reflecting my enthusiasm. For the first time in my life, I was so happy flying in the sky. Although I was only 16 at that time and so was Laura, but my hormones ran intensively just after my puberty. Next day I was ready with my every times black shirt and pants. Laura was at the hamburger stand, serving grilled hamburgers to the regular customers. "Hey," I bited my hands from almost 10 feet away. She smiled back at me, pointing towards her father, rolling her beautiful eyes. She was looking damn gorgeous, like a fairy from Wonderland. I entered the stand, ordered a grilled cheese hamburger, and sat on the chair. Laura brought my order and passed a chit. The chit read, "I'm delightful having you at our stand. Apologies, as I am unable to talk to you after you took so much effort for me. Let us meet tomorrow at the same location, as my father is somewhere out of town. Laura." The note smelled like jasmine with a touch of orchids. I put the note inside my pocket and swirled my attention around in my dream world, thinking about our unexpected love story, preparing hamburgers together, holding Laura by her waist, me standing right beside her. "Sir, your bill." The waitress woke me up and my dream remained unfinished, although it annoyed me, but I was happy enough to give a damn about it. I paid the bill. Laura was persistently peeping at me. Her smile was undoubtedly the world's best smile. She was so pure by her gestures. That day I went back to my house in a jolly mood. "What happened?" my father interrogated, seeing me smile for no valid reason. "Hey," I peeped with a palpitating beat. "Nothing, Dad. Today a friend of mine cracked a joke. I understood now." Later I realized I proved myself a donkey in front of my father. "Oh, Laura. Oh dear, what have you done to me? A complete absurd dog I've turned into," my mind poked me. Next morning I went to college, passing by Laura's hamburger stand. She was missing. Her father was alone serving hamburgers. I got concerned about her. I wished to ask, but I hesitated, getting so frank, and left the place. I got amazed as I entered the lecture hall. Laura was in front of my eyes, sitting in the front bench. Always being a backbencher and weak at studies, I shocked everyone when I took my seat next to her. "Certainly, man." I turned around. "You have changed a lot." Albert patted my back. "Or I could say a pet dog," he whispered in my ears further. But this time I didn't give a shit about his baseless statements because I didn't want to ruin my image in front of Laura. She smiled back at me when I tried to hold her hand. She didn't restrict me from doing so, but unfortunately, I had to move my hands from her thighs as Miss Jiggery entered to take her physics lectures. "Sit down, class." Miss saw me in the first bench. "Oh, Ryan, it's so amazing to see you here for the first time. Neither you have bunked your lectures, nor you are drunk. Is something cooking fishy in your shitty head?" I felt myself ruined, but managed to keep my self-esteem high somehow. "Ma'am, actually I've got a cataract, and I'm unable to visualize the whiteboard clearly, so purposefully, I'm sitting here today." I appreciated my cerebrum for such an instant excuse. Miss Jiggery was as sweet as honey. She agreed to my excuses and left me alone with Laura. I enjoyed her company until a cross-question flipped on me. "What's the speed of light?" She pointed her creepy fingers towards me. Her eyes rotated on Laura. She understood my intention. I was damn sure Ma'am was just trying to prove me useless. I regretted sitting beside her. Ma'am Jiggery next pointed to Laura to answer the question. She answered it immediately, as if she had more gyri on the folds of her brain. She was an intelligent girl. I appreciated her, and after the lecture, we went to the coffee shop and had an Americano with a tablespoon of sugar. We were having a good time since Albert became a thorn of kebabs in between us. "Hey," he saw me initially. "Pretty lady, what's your name?" he continued. "Hi, it's Laura." Laura shakes hands. I got jealous. I could feel the heat radiating out of my body, which was enough to make me a boiling coffee. Laura engaged herself talking to Albert. Actually, they belonged to the same town, so they got compatibility among them. They started sharing their flaws and goods. "Can we leave, Laura? I think it's getting too late." I tried to keep her away from Albert. "No, I'm okay, Ryan. If you have some work, you can leave. I shall go with Albert." I left the place out of my jealousy. All the way to my home, I kept thinking about Laura. She was ignoring me as if I was a leprous person, contagious enough to catch her nerves. After that day, Albert neither came to the lectures, nor to the college campus or canteen. We weren't good friends, but certainly as a human, I got concerned about him. We searched for him in his rental house as it belonged to some other place, and he lived alone. I could see posters and pamphlets with photographs of missing people around the town. We added Albert's poster too to get some aid. "How long has Albert not been here?" we interrogated the landowner. "Haven't seen him since a month. It's strange that he neither let us know nor did he vacate the room." "His stuff's all there?" "Yes." It was so surprising that Albert had gone missing with no clue. Later, we accepted Albert might have left town because of some unknown personal issues and dilemmas. Laura had a great old historical bed and breakfast home on the outskirts of town. I visited Laura's house after she invited me for dinner. Though she called me on a date, I got ready with a good outfit and rose fragrance soothed my soul. "I'm sorry if I'm late, pretty lady." I held Laura's hand and kissed her palms. She turned around, her face disguising her shyness. "No, you aren't." She welcomed me humbly. I pulled a chair for her to sit. We had a porridge and red wine that night. Laura was an awesome cook. She was an all-rounder in every field with no competitors equivalent to her. Still, she was down to earth. Sometimes I doubted if she was an angel from heaven. In between there interrupted her creepy father, who always used to frown and crawl his tongue around his lips, as if he would eat me all at once. I seriously had no idea why he behaved so alien. "Laura, come inside," he called her cruelly. It seemed like her father was not happy about Laura dating any of her college guys. Laura went inside. Meanwhile, I engaged myself drinking the tastiest red wine in the long, slim glassware. After a few minutes, a Spanish song with the English version played. "Would you like to dance with me?" Laura offered her hand. We danced for almost 15 minutes, and then I felt dizziness, nausea, and vomiting. Convulsions hit me hard, and finally I fell down on the canvas unconsciously. It passed a day, around 18 hours, when I gained back my consciousness. I was shocked to notice myself sealed by a metallic chain over my hands and toes with 14 other people. "Please, unseal me! Anyone, please help me!" I screamed in agony. The chain dug into my skin, sharply cutting it, leading it to bleed. "Please, either open my chain or loosen it a bit. It's hurting me," I cried. A person sitting beside me who was also sealed somehow loosened my chain, and I felt relaxed. "Why are we here? And who kidnapped us?" I interrogated them because it was unbelievable, and I didn't remember what happened with me last night after I drank the red wine. "We're kidnapped by the owner of the hamburger stand. He's going to slaughter us, snatch our flesh out of the bony framework and sell it to the people in the hamburger stand," the person behind me informed. "What? Tell me you're kidding." It was shocking to me. I hope I could say that. "And what about his daughter, Laura?" I felt concern for her. "Laura is the trap. She takes advantage of being beautiful. Laura and her father together, they plot, trap an innocent guy in her love, calls him for a dinner date, offers an adulterated red wine and kidnaps him." "Did the same thing happen with you?" My heart was sinking. "Yeah, Laura trapped me too, like these other 13 guys." I got angina pectoris. My heart hurt me, palpitating harshly and hardly. This was the first time I loved somebody absurdly, and I got cheated badly. "Can't we call the police?" I tried to figure out something to escape. "No, we don't have cell phones. They've been snatched." "Isn't there any ventilators or windows through which we could get out of here? We're all tied up since a week. Daily, the cruel man comes here and slaughters a person from among us." The statement took me by my throat. The noise of a gate vibrated the cochlea of my inner ear. "Stop screeching, you silly peeps. Now tell me, who wants to die next?" Laura's father came in along with her. "Laura, didn't you realize my love for you? I loved you so much and you wished for my death?" Laura stared at me with watery eyes. I could feel her emotions from me, but she was bounded by her father. "Laura?" Her father looked at us, staring at each other. "Laura, let's go out." Laura was lost in my eyes. She stood still. "Laura, let's go, or else I'll throw you out here too, just as I did with your mother. Do you get it?" This time her father was too strict with words. Laura stood still. Her father held her hand tightly and took her out along with him. "What was that?" the man beside me asked shockingly. "Laura is madly in love with me," I blushed, admitting it. But it was also the truth that we were all going to die. Each day, one by one, everyone was getting slaughtered. The man came again the next day. He started to beat me with rods and chains without any reason. Then, he left through the stairs. It was clear that he was torturing me because of Laura's changed behavior. We could hear the shots of guns fired regularly up the stairs. The man was a murderer with unnoticed crimes. Already 3 days had passed of these tantrums and tortures, but the man didn't stop there. He got all the information about me and my family. Now, he was on the way to torture my father, the only family I had. "Ryan?" A known sound tickled my ears. "Ryan?" "Yes." Oh shit. He was my beloved father. His eyes caught with mine. He smiled the best smiles of peace after seeing me alive. Tears rolled down my face after seeing the worst condition of my father. He was tied and sealed in chains. His face was swollen, red and pale. He was badly tortured, or he might have got hurt while defending himself from these evil creatures. "Ryan, are you okay, my child?" My father touched my injured wounds, and I let a deep breath of agony. He cried, "Why are these people torturing us, child? Why is it our fault?" "It's all my fault, Father. I loved the wrong girl. She's a cannibal. She eats the flesh of humans by trapping innocent men in her love, and then I stopped when I saw someone's shadow standing behind the door and listening to us. Swirls of air flew my heart, palpitating, my lub and dub, the sounds of a heartbeat. I understood it was Laura. She peeped inside, watching us through the door hole. I ignored her, as I hated her for torturing my father and trapping me for her meal and earnings, cheating on their regular customers on the risk of their health. "Do you still love her?" my father asked me. "No, Dad. Not after what they did with you and these innocent people." The shadow went away, listening to my hatred. "I'm sorry, Dad. Now we all have to die," I cried. "No issues, son. I'm happy that we will die together. If you would have died then, how would I have lived all alone? It's unimaginable." We hugged, pressing our wounds against each other. 3 days passed. Now only me and my father were left in the room. We were near our death and we waited for it after daily doses of tortures. The man entered the next morning with a butcher knife in his hand. "Who among you wants to die first?" the creepy man asked with a wicked smile. "Me," I replied without delaying a second. "No, I want to die first." My father jumped along. "No, Dad, let me die. I can't see you dying before my eyes," we cried. We didn't want to lose each other. My father was an old man who wanted to live his dreams, but never thought of dying a death getting served within hamburgers. The creepy, wicked, cruel man approached us. He placed the sharp-edged knife at my father's neck. He screeched in agony as drops of blood dripped down. "Please, stop it, Dad!" Laura came in yelling. "Are you out of your senses, Laura? We need to serve hamburgers to the people outside, or else we won't earn any pie of money today." "So let it be, Dad." She peeped into my eyes. "I promise I will bring some other people from the town. Please, leave him and his father." "Don't be a fool, Laura. You're getting emotional. We cannibals has no place for sentiments in our hearts. Don't forget, we've slaughtered thousands of people like this," her father admitted, enraged. "Dad, that's what I'm saying. Let them go. We'll find another trap." I could see Laura begging to her father. She was signaling me something by her fingers. She was telling me to run away and call the police. My chains were untied by the man when he was torturing us. I untied it and removed the chain and ran away. My father remained there because he was strengthless to move a step. I had no other option other than running. The man understood Laura's plan. "You proved today that you're the daughter of your mother. You have no place for your father in your heart. You silly, stupid girl. You can't ruin my living with your stupid sentiments. I killed your mother 12 years ago. Now go to her. Rest in peace, Laura. Goodbye." The man stabbed the butcher knife into her stomach, tearing out the flesh. She lied on the canvas, screeching in pain and bleeding to death. The man left my father alone and ran to save himself from going behind bars. "Stop!" The cops caught him on the stairs, held him by his throat and slapped him repeatedly. "You've shown a lot of courage. Done a great work. Well done." The cops patted my back. I rushed into the basement to take away my father. I was shocked to see Laura lying dead. "What happened to her, Dad?" I asked shockingly. "She's dead, son. That cruel man killed her too." Initially, I was broken into pieces, but soon, I accumulated all my strength. I took my father to the nearest hospital for his treatment. We did Laura's funeral together. And now the hamburger stand is still there, but it's owned by my father.